Junhan? Okay, so question 1. So as I mentioned earlier, you cannot just focus on the tutorial questions for this module. You have to try the examples both in lecture slides and also the tutorial questions. So as you can see, the tutorials I actually do not cover all the questions, similar questions in lecture slides. They are provided in lecture slides and also the tutorial. So you will need to actually go through it before your test and also your final exam. I mean, you have to go through the examples in lecture slides and also the tutorial. So if you follow the class well, last 2 days for your lecture 2, so we actually cover a lot of examples. I couldn't actually finish in 2 hours, but the recording is there. But the recording is not there forever. I will remove the recording maybe 1 or 2 weeks after that. It is for weekly basis. Student couldn't follow the class, so the recording is there as a backup. So you can go through the recording, then do your own notes and revision purpose. Because for this module, we do not actually save the recording to provide to students. The recordings only provide to the students of year 1. Okay. So some of you ask me why I do not keep all the recordings because some of the modules we actually do not provide. So we follow for all the modules. After year 2, we do not have any recordings anymore. Okay, so focus on a few questions of today tutorial 2. So this will be in your test 1, the scope. The pump remove. So we only have this pump. Remove water at the constant rate of 10 CFM is cubic feet per minute. So the one you have in your test and final exam, we do not have the English unit. All we have follow the SI unit, the standard unit. So the one we have in tutorials, English unit is okay, because later on in your test and final exam, you will be using the SI unit, meaning that all the SI units will be given in the question for test and also for final exam. Okay, so the pump remove the water at a constant rate. So the flow out, exit flow rate. So here, constant flow rate of 10 cubic feet per minute. So this is your Q naught. So this Q naught is exit volumetric flow out, means it's volume per time. So it is 10 CFM, cubic feet per minute. So cubic feet per minute will be given later on in your test and final exam as a SI unit, not this English unit. So this rate is independent of the head, meaning that you cannot use H over the R. No. Q naught is independent of the tank level. So the head means tank level. So we have the question covered in the lecture slide. If the relationship is not given and it is not mentioned that this flow rate is independent of the tank level, then by default you have to use Q naught equals to H over the R. Means the higher the tank level inside the tank, the faster the flow rate of this Q naught. So this question they mention that okay, it is independent of the head, meaning that it is just a constant value. So you cannot use the equation Q naught equals to H over the R, cannot. So we also cover one example in lecture and also in tutorial. The one you have to solve using the Taylor series expansion, where you will get the non-linear term in your equation. So you have to linearize the term to make it power to 1. The technique is very simple, just the solution a bit long, but doable. We'll be having one more example for that Taylor series expansion in this tutorial too. So the question mentioned that this Q naught, it is not affected by the H, independent of the head. So the cross-sectional area, it is the A, symbol A, and the resistance to flow is R. So as you can see from here, you actually have 2 exits. So 1, 2. And this R is given as a value of 0.5 and then feet per CFM. So this is the resistance to flow. They ask you, so you can see here, HS over the QS is the transfer function. They ask you to derive the output, which is the level, over the input, which is the Q, inlet volumetric flow rate. So after you Laplace transform, you will get Q. Initially, it is in the time response time. After you Laplace it, you will get QS. So your Laplace transform is for you to get the transfer function. So this is in S response. Okay. So after you Laplace, then you will get the Q capital and then as a function of S. So for the liquid level system shown below, you have one in and two exit streams. Inlet stream only one, two exit stream. So A, you have the tank level operates about the steady state value. So there are two questions, meaning that once you complete the A, you repeat everything the same by substituting the steady state value to a different value, 3 feet. So I only discuss, I will discuss both of these. It is because I want to let you know when the time you have to involve only one exit out. So when you only involve one exit, it is when the time the tank steady state value is less than 2 feet. Okay, just like the first question, the A. So if you have steady state 1 foot, then you do need to consider the exit stream of this one because it is more than 2 feet. So if it is 3, then you have to consider 2 exits. Okay, so this is the example A and B. So we try to solve the A. So conservation of law only have 3: mass balance, composition balance, and also energy balance. So from here, temperature is not given, so no energy balance. Composition is not given as well, so no composition balance. So what you need to do is only the mass balance. So you are going to derive the unsteady state mass balance and then steady state mass balance. Equation 1 minus equation 2, which is unsteady state minus steady state. Introduce the deviation variables. Laplace transform the both sides, rearrange, then you will get the answer. So step 1 is the mass balance, dm over dt equals to mass rate in minus mass rate out. So mass rate, you have learned 2 equations to derive so far. One is concentration multiplied with the volumetric flow rate. So sometimes this one, volumetric flow rate, can be Q, can be V. Like this question, they are using the Q for the volumetric flow rate. Okay, the other one also you can use density multiplied with the volumetric flow rate. So either you use the symbol of rho multiplied with the Q, the same thing. So in this example, we are using the rho multiplied with the Q. It is because of concentration is not given. So you can put it that concentration is not given, therefore you have to use the mass rate, which is the product of density multiplied with the volumetric flow rate. So in this example, we are using the symbol of Q to represent the volumetric flow rate. Okay, so how about M? So M is rho equals to M per V. So M equals to rho V. So how you relate to the output, which is your output is HS over the QS. So your output is something related, your accumulation term. So I will put here, accumulation term is dH over dt. So you have to expand this equation. dm over dt equivalent to d rho v dt. Further expand the volume. Rho is constant, so factorize outside. Then V volume equivalent to area multiplied with the level. So you'll be having A constant outside, then dH over dt. So you'll be having dm over dt equivalent to this. So you sub it here, you'll be having rho A dH over dt equals to rho Q. You have 1 in. So when the HS, which is the steady state value, given as 1 foot, So meaning that it's somewhere around here. So your HS is 1 foot. So from here, you actually do not have this stream 2 yet. Meaning that the exit for it, you only have one exit for it, which is this one. Okay, so from here, you'll be only having one in, where they use the inlet for it as Q, then minus the out only have this, so it is rho Q naught. Okay, so same fluid or liquid, meaning that the density will be cancelled out. It will be A dH over dt equivalent to Q minus Q naught. And Q naught is a constant. So actually you have to write QoS, right? So it's your QoS. Because Q naught is constant, so I will be putting S here, constant. Okay, and this value is actually 10 CFM. So you have equation 1, we name as unsteady state mass balance. Okay, so now this equation, you will just put a subscript of S to indicate steady state. So it will be A dHS over dt equal to QS minus QoS. Then equation 2. Okay, you are using unsteady state minus steady state. So it is 1 minus 2. Equation 1 minus equation 2. So A d bracket H minus HS over dt equivalent to Q minus QS minus QoS minus QoS. So from here, this one gone. Bye-bye. So you introduce. Okay, now you introduce deviation variables. Either you prefer to use capital letter or either you prefer to use the prime. So if let's say the letter is originally in small letter, yeah. So I want to go back. Where's my go back? Okay. So originally it is in small letter. So this one highlight correct. Small letter. Then you just represent the deviation variable in capital or uppercase. So you can use H is unsteady state minus steady state. Or you want to use H prime equals to H minus HS, up to you. Then we have Q equivalent to Q minus QS, or Q prime equals to Q minus QS. So it must be pair lah. If let's say you use this, you have to pair with this, or you use this, you must be paired with this. So either one you can use. For deviation variable, let's say I'm using this one, capital. Then I will sub into my equation of this one. I'll be having A dH over dt equivalent to Q. Okay, so repeat the same. So this one. So I'll go to the next page. Okay, so repeat the same. You'll be having Laplace. Not repeat the same. I mean repeat the same steps we have learned last 2 days. So Laplace transform both sides. You'll be having AS HS minus H0 bracket A is outside. Okay, equivalent to QS. Okay, So H0 means H at time 0 minus H during steady state. So when T equals to 0, your time level remain the same as steady state. So we can put a note there. At T equals to 0, the tank level will be the same as steady state value, which means this. Therefore, this one cancel out, become 0. So you'll be having ASHS equivalent to QS. Output is HS, input is QS. So the transfer function, so this is the transfer function. You'll be having 1 over AS. And A is given in the question as 1/2 feet square. So therefore it is 1 over 1S. Answer is 1 over the S. Complete. So this is question 1A1. Then we have question B. So this is A, 1A. So now we have the 1B. So I need to copy this. Okay. So B. The HS now is 3 feet, meaning that it will be somewhere around here. So now this is HS equals to 3 feet. Okay, so you repeat everything the same. Using the mass balance, you'll be having dm over dt equals to rho q minus rho, this is the q naught, minus, this is not given, the relationship automatically by default will be h over the r. By default, h over the r, but you have to take note. If, okay, I put 2 examples. If with this one, it is at the ground, you'll be having q naught, so this is the q naught, but here you have 2 feet. So this is your r. So q naught, here also q naught. Example, they are not using q naught, or I represent using q1. Okay, I use q1. Means here I use q1. Let's say I use q1. So I will erase this condition so that you will link better. So q1. So let's say my q1 is on the ground. So this is my q1. Or my q1 is certain level above the ground. So this is above the ground. So above the ground, you'll be having the equation very similar, but you have to consider the height, where it is. So for example, this is my q1. So my q1 will be the equation of h over the r. But this one will give me q1 equals to h minus 2 over the r. H minus 2 equals 0, h equals to 2, meaning that this stream is above 2 feet from the ground. So therefore, here is minus 2, your q1. So rho q1. So this one expand the same. So rho q minus rho qos. So this one is constant. So if constant, don't forget to put s, qos. Then minus rho, and your q1 is h minus 2 over the r. Because it is 2 feet above the ground. So from here, you have to take note on this one. Then you cancel all the density, will be A dH over dt. then Q minus QOS minus H minus 2 over the R. Then you can bracket this one. So this is your equation 1, or you can put unsteady state mass balance. Now is the steady state mass balance. So put the subscript there, ADHS over DT, QS, QOS, HS minus 2 over the R, equation 2. Then repeat 1 minus 2. So 1 minus 2, you'll be having ADH minus HS over DT, Q minus QS, bracket, minus outside, don't touch, QOS minus QOS, minus don't touch, HS minus 2, minus HS, H minus 2. So H minus 2 minus H minus 2, then over the R. So this one, minus 2 plus 2, gone. So will be ADH minus HS over DT, Q minus QS. This one gone, so I will just ignore. Then minus H minus 2 plus 2, right? So the one is gone, left with H minus HS over the R, because we have minus 2 plus 2 here. And the one I don't touch is the minus outside. This one, I don't touch. Meaning that if it is minus, then I remain minus. Don't touch. Okay, so it's just minus and then QOS minus QOS. Then minus again, H minus 2 minus HS minus 2, which is this one. So you have minus, don't touch, minus 2, plus 2, gone. So you'll be having H minus HS, left with this one. Okay, then you introduce the deviation variable where you have introduced in part A, so you don't need to repeat. You can straight away ADH over DT equivalent to Q minus H over the R. Okay, then you can Laplace transform both sides to get A outside SHS minus H0 bracket equivalent to QS minus HS over the R. Rearrange so that you will get the answer of, okay, I give you some time, so I will move to the next page. You rearrange to get the HS over the QS. And remember, first order. So first order transfer function should have the pattern of this. So you must make sure you're having this last term, this one, equivalent to 1. Okay? So, one page. Where am I? Okay, so this one repeat already. I remove, Okay, so rearrange will be having HS, then don't factorize first, just rearrange as usual. Then you'll be having ASHS plus HS over the R equivalent to input at the right hand side. Then you factorize the HS, will be AS plus 1 over the R, then QS. Then output over the input, so 1 over AS plus 1 over the R. To make this term equivalent to 1, you should have all the terms multiplied with the R. So 1 multiplied with R, ARS, 1 over the R multiplied with R. Therefore, you will get this equivalent to 1 to fulfill the pattern of first order. You just multiply this one, R, R, R. Then you will get R over ARS plus 1, where your K is R, your tau is AR. So then you sub. The R value given in the question is 0.5. And the A is 1. So AR, so it's 1 multiplied with the R, S plus 1. So it's 0.5, 0.5S plus 1. Finish. So this is the warm-up question, simple question. Mass balance only involving the accumulation term of dH over dt. Okay, then we will having question 2. Straight away, the question 2 will be the revision already because we covered this. So you make sure you can do for question 2. It is the example of non-linear. You linearize the term, control term, or your output term, which is the H in this question, to power of 1. So this is question 2. Question 1 done. I will share this one. You just copy whatever you can. Put the notes over there. You complete later. Okay. So question 2. Okay. Conservation of law. You have 3. Mass, balance, dm over dt, then mass rate in minus mass rate out. Second, you have composition balance. So this is revision also. I won't just solve the question with you all. I will do the revision at the same time. Okay, so composition balance is exactly the same like dm over dt, then mass dot in minus mass dot out, but you multiply with the x. So you will write in more proper way, which is dmx over dt equivalent to mx, or we put m dot in minus m dot x out. Okay, so this is the composition balance. Then you have the energy balance. The one I asked you to do in the lecture 1, you remember? I said different assumption. One is Q heat transferred to the tank is constant. One is the inlet is constant. So the one I derive is one of the scenario. I ask you to derive again so that you can get the equation exactly the same like the slides. That equation for exit temperature over the heat flow. So that example you have to try again. It's the energy balance. So energy balance is dE over dt equivalent to omega Cp in. So all the in. Maybe you have the heat flow to the system Q, then minus the out. So you study T as your output, then this equation will be mCp dt over dt. So this is energy balance. So then you identify question 2, which conservation of law you are going to use. So from here, composition balance is not given. And then the energy balance is not given as well. You only need to perform the mass balance. So you are going to perform the mass balance for this simple question. So dm over dt equal to mass rate in minus mass rate out. So mass rate, so if you put W, we do not have the, okay, I standardize, use the mass rate. So W, use the mass rate. So mass rate in minus mass rate out, or mass rate equals to W, the same thing. Okay, so again, this is about the level as the accumulation term. So it's A, rho A dH over dt. We have derived this in question 1. So here, concentration is not given. So again, we are using rho cube. In, so this is the in, this is the out, minus rho Q naught. And they say this Q naught with a relationship between the level and also the exit flow rate given as 8H 1 over the 2. So the A here is 3 feet square. So now you have the AB. So we do the A first, where HS equivalent to 3 feet. Then we'll do the B. Okay, so repeat the same. You will cancel the density and also substitute the Q naught given as 8H 1 over the 2. Okay, make sure you can follow. Okay. So from here, this is your equation 1. Okay, then you check H, which is your output, must be power to 1. So you can highlight this one. It is not power to 1. So from here, you actually have H power to 1 over the 2 instead of H power to 1. So you need to linearize using the equation of this one. Because of the H is not power to 1. Okay, now you have to change this equation accordingly. Like for example, now your parameter is changed to Q naught, which is this one. So you'll be having Q naught as your variable, Q naught, and your variable is as a function of level. Okay, so from here, X is H, and it will start at steady state. Where is the starting point? So the starting point is at the steady state. So meaning that you have to change this equation accordingly. So now H equals to HS. Or you can just follow exactly the same. Later on, your H should be replaced by HS. This is like your X equals to X. X equals to A. And now your A is your HS. Your X is your H. Very confusing. So just put this one. Okay, so Q naught variable H. So to be perfect, this one should be just originally a function of H. Okay. So use this one. So now is question. Okay. Then equivalent to stop at power equals to 1. So n start from 0 for sure. Standard one is start from 0. Stop at 1. Then you're having your Q naught, where your function is actually Q naught. Then your A is HS. Then n factorial means that it is starting from 0. So this one is 0 as well. So this is derivative. This is power. Then H minus HS power to 0. Summation means you have to plus, repeat the same one, Q naught first order derivative, HS. So this one, okay, give me some time, I need to erase. Okay, so this one is, this is your A. Okay, so your A is steady state value. Okay, correct. Then steady state value over 1. Then H minus HS power to 1. So from this one to this one, you have to know. So this is for Q naught. It can be Q1, it can be Q2, it can be Q3. For example, this is Q naught. So why you have to do this? It is because of the output H, it is not power to 1. So we have to perform this Taylor series expansion to realize this term so that it will be H power to 1 after linearization. So this is the purpose of having the Taylor series expansion. So once you have this, then now you are going to solve this. So I will copy this to the back. Okay. Copy. And your Q naught is CH power to 1 over the 2. So now, solving one by one. This one, so we need to solve this. After that is Q naught. You remember the equation is as a function. So please do some corrections here. So this is as a function of A, so as a function of HS. Means later on your equation involve the H, you have to replace with HS. So I put here. So this is actually a function. Follow the original equation. So you have to check 2 times. Even myself will do some mistakes. So please, you all must check few times. Writing it. Check spelling. Okay. So you'll be having this. So now solving the first one. So I put here first one. Q not 0 order. So you put here 0 order derivative. It means you'll be having exactly the same equation given. If 0 order derivative means it will be the same as the one given to you. So the Q naught. So Q naught, 0 order derivative is actually Q naught, where Q naught is CH 1 over the 2. Okay. So this one, the whole thing grouped together, you're actually solving Q naught 0 order derivative, then sub the H as HS. So now proceed. So you have the Q. So the answer will be equivalent to Q naught 0 order derivative HS is CHS 1 over the 2. So this is 0 order derivative. Means exactly the same. So you can put here Q naught. So your Q naught equals to CH 1 over the 2. So this is 0 order derivative. meaning that it will be exactly the same value just like the one given to you, ch power to 1 over 2. So as a function of hs means you just sub the h equivalent to the steady state value. Then you already solved the first part. Okay, then second part, h minus hs, this one is power. Power to 0 means the answer is 1. So this one also done. Now this part. So this part is easier. It is just h minus hs power to 1 means the answer will be h minus hs. So now solve this first order derivative hs, then 1 factorial. So this answer will give you 1. So now q naught prime hs is first order derivative. So you have your q naught equivalent to ch 1 over the 2. So you'll be having first order 1 over the 2 ch 1 over the 2 minus 1. Remember first order derivative? So this one is 1 over the 2 ch negative 1 over the 2. And remember this is a function of hs. So done. Then you complete this equation, the whole equation bring down here. Originally your q naught h, which is ch power to 1 over 2, finally become 0 order derivative is, okay, so this one, put a color there. So when you have this, you have derived, right? So your q dot 0 order derivative hs is chs 1 over the 2. Your q naught is ch 1 over the 2. So when you have chs 1 over the 2, it means q naught as steady state value. That means this one is actually QoS. The reason, so I will circle this, then you can link better. So this term is actually QoS. This one, the whole thing, substitute to this one, this stands for your QoS. Okay, so I'll be having QoS multiplied with 1, so I don't write, plus. So this one, just now you solve, the final answer is this. So you will sub in here. Okay, so now it's Q naught. So it's 1 over the 2 CHS negative 1 over the 2. Then multiplied with H minus HS. Okay, I do not sub the C yet. So this will be the line. So it is QoS plus 4. Okay, correct. So your C is given as 8. So you have the 8. So this is actually 8H 1 over the 2. So I just, at the end, I put it there. Your C actually is 8 given in the question. So finally, your answer will be Q naught H originally given as CH 1 over 2 will be QoS plus 1 over the 2 times 8 HS S negative 1 over the 2 H minus HS. So this will give you QOS plus 4 HS power to negative 1 over the 2 multiplied with H minus HS. Means you have changed this C power to 1 over the 2, which is 8, given from the beginning, finally equivalent to this. And you can check the term here. Your H finally is H power to 1. So you have changed the non-linear term to linear term. H power to 1. I have repeated this one. We have mentioned this in the lecture slide. So my expectation, you actually can do this one already. Okay. So if you still cannot do, you have to spend more time to practice. Definitely it will be in your test or in your final. I'm not sure. Okay, so once you have this already, now you already have the equation to substitute your Q naught. So look, just now, first page, we already derived the unsteady state balance, which is this one. So this is your Q naught. Substitute this value with 4 lines of this one. So maybe we have another page. Okay. Plus. So after here. Why is it here? I don't want this one. I want a blank copy. I want white color. Then white. Why still here? I want to delete this one. Okay, never mind, never mind. So, hey. I just want to add one more page of blank paper. Why there is a yes, okay. So erase, move to trash. Okay, so now just now you have the unsteady state, mass balance, equivalent to the equation of A dH over dt equal to Q minus Q naught. And this Q naught is CH 1 over the 2, which is the 8H 1 over the 2. So you replace this with the one you have derived, which your Q naught is QOS plus 4HS negative 1 over the 2 multiplied with H minus HS into the equation of unsteady state. So you have A dH over dt, unsteady state mass balance now become Q minus bracket the whole thing QOS plus 4HS minus 1 over the 2 H minus HS. So equation 1. Okay, equation 2 will be exactly the same like this, but put the subscript here. Steady state mass balance is A dHS over dt equivalent to QS minus QOS equation 2. So use the equation 1 minus equation 2. You'll be having A d h minus hs over dt equivalent to q minus qs. The minus don't touch, keep the minus outside. So we're having all of this minus this. So QOS plus 4HS negative 1 over 2 H minus HS minus QOS. Then you can cancel plus minus. Plus QOS minus QOS. You'll be having the equation left with H minus HS dt Q minus QS minus 4HS negative 1 over 2 H minus HS. This is equation 1 minus equation 2. Then you do the same as usual. Introduce the deviation variable. Let's say H is H minus HS. Q is Q minus QS. Q minus QS, small q. Q minus QS. Then your equation 1, equation 2 become ADH over dt Q minus 4HS negative 1 over the 2, then H. So this is HS given as the value of the one given in question 2. It is 3 feet. Okay, so this HS stands for the steady state value. It is 3 feet. So later you can sub this value in. So continue the same Laplace transform both sides. Then you'll be having ASHS minus H0 bracket QS minus 4HS negative 1 over 2. The whole thing is coefficient, so don't touch, just like the constant number. So when you have this, you rearrange and initial condition is 0. You'll be getting the answer of HS over the QS. Let's see. S. Okay. So once you have this line already, you rearrange to get the HS over the QS and make the pattern same with first order. So I will copy this line, put at the back. Okay, page. Why still this page? Why? Clear page? Cannot. Change template. This one. Why still this one? I want a blank paper, please. Okay. Why still here? Okay. Move to trash. Okay, this one. So now you can rearrange this. Okay, become HS. So ASHS plus 4 steady state value power to negative 1 over 2 HS equals to QS. Factorize the HS will be AS plus 4HS negative 1 over the 2 equals to QS. Output over the input. This is your output over the input. We call as the transfer function. Okay, it will be 1 over AS plus 4HS negative 1 over the 2. So same thing, this term need to be equals to 1. Hence, you have to divide everything with the same one so that the last term will be equivalent to 1. Because you need to get k over tau s plus 1. So 1 over 4 sub the hs is 3. So 3 negative 1 over the 2 divide a, what is my a? A, what's the value of the a? The a, where are you? A is 3. So it will be 3 over 4, 3 negative 1 over the 2 plus 1. And the s is here. So you will be getting the answer of, they are asking, what they ask? Derive the transfer function. Oh, no, not this one. Oh, just now the one of the page missing. You refer to the recording lah, huh? For the full solution, I think I deleted one of the page, which is the question 2 here. I don't know why. So it's okay. So this one is not used. Why is it here? Move to trash. Where's the solution? Okay, so you will get this one. Use your calculator. I did not solve until the end for this question. So let me check my original solution. So this will be they ask calculate the time constant for this system. That's why I do not solve this. They ask what is the tau value, which is k over tau s plus 1. So your tau is 3 over 4 multiplied with 3 power to negative 1 over the 2. Okay, so this will give you the answer of 1.2999, and the unit is minute. Tau is the time. So the unit given is in minute. Then you repeat the same one for your tau. So what is your tau formula? Your tau is 3a over 4 hs negative 1 over the 2, based on this one. Okay, now the hs for the b change to the value of change to value of 9. Your a remain the same, given as 3. Okay, so your tau is now 3 over 4, 9 power to negative 1 over the 2. Use your calculator, you will get the answer 2.25 minutes. Okay, so if I ask you to discuss the answer, when you increase the steady state value, the tau will be bigger. It is because you actually need longer time to achieve steady state. Instead of steady state value of 3 feet, now it is 9 feet. So common sense, the process will take longer time to reach this 9 feet instead of 3 feet. So the value will be bigger for the tau for the second case, 2.25 instead of 1.2999 minute, because the steady state value is increased. making the process taking longer time to achieve steady state. So tau, smaller tau means the process is faster to achieve steady state. When bigger tau means the process take longer time to achieve steady state. So this is the question 2. Okay. So just now, one page missing. You refer to the recording. Ayo, I don't know why. The page is very important. It is here. Yeah, I think should be okay. This is question 2. Why just now I cannot find this question 2? It's here. Okay, everything is good. So it's here. So complete. This is question 2. Then the solution. So put a star here. Please practice multiple times. Okay? Tips. So I'm not going to have one section to give you tips. No. All the tips will be given throughout the semester. Okay? So Taylor series expansion is a very important technique. Laplace transform is a very important technique, as well as the technique we learned today is a transfer function. Okay, last week, the very important technique you have learned is integration method. Okay, so I hope you all still can follow. So now we go to the third. I do not discuss the third. Okay, so third, I skip, but third you need to practice. So I put here, question 3. You need to solve by your own. Okay, now question 4. Okay. Why is this page forever here? It become the sticker already. Why? Okay, never mind. So this is my question 4. So I will just put a blank there. No. Okay. So this question 4, as you can see, this is the one involved the energy balance. Okay. So consider the heating process given. This is an important line. Ti is constant. So maybe you can put here Ti steady state, Ti unsteady state. So TIS, both also TIS because Ti constant. Okay. Heat is added. So this is the heat added to the tank by means of an electric heater. The tank is well mixed. When this is a sentence that says the tank is well mixed, it means during steady state, when it achieves equilibrium already, steady state, the exit temperature will be the same at any point inside your tank. Left, right, up, down, so it means well mixed. Means the temperature in this will be exactly the same when it flow out, when it achieve equilibrium. Okay, so the temperature is assumption to be the same because of the keyword of well mixed. And the temperature of the exiting stream is T, so T. The flow rate to the tank is W, so it is pound per time, means mass per time. So this is an English unit. We are using maybe kg per second, for example. So this is actually the mass rate. And this is W equals to the formula we use, which is m dot, mass rate. Okay, develop a transfer function relating the output is the T. Okay, now the input is the Q. It is exactly like your lecture slide. So the one I did not discuss, the second scenario. Okay, if you have done that one on Monday, I asked you to do, right? Repeat the same, but assume that now the Q is not constant, but the TI is constant. It's exactly your lecture 2. The question exactly the same. So now we derive again in tutorial. Okay, so now you are going to use the energy balance. So this is question 4. So energy balance is dE over dt equals to rate of energy going in minus rate of energy going out. So another assumption here, actually there's no heat loss to the surrounding. The tank is well insulated. The heat out is only involving this stream. So we do not have the heat loss to the surrounding. So if I increase the difficulty of this question, I will say this is not well insulated. We consider there is a heat flow to the surrounding through the conduction, for example, then you'll be having another exit stream for the energy. So in this example, we do not have any heat loss to the surrounding. So we only have 2 in, 1, 2, and 1 exit out. So we're having the equation of mCp heat capacity at constant pressure, or you can just write C, is okay. So the C stands for heat capacity. It depends on the fluid property. Okay, what is the fluid? Then you will know the C given. So mC accumulation term is exit temperature over dt. Then you have 2 in, so it will be W. So here in, here in. So W C TI, full one will be minus with the reference temperature, where most of the time we assume to be 0. Okay, and then plus another in is your Q. So this one I use the Q. What symbol they use in the question heat? Let's say I'm using Q. Okay, I'm using Q. And this is the power. Okay, because you are using the mass rate. So it is actually in power. So means kilowatt or watt, not joules, because the equation is mass rate, rate of energy. So it's in power. So minus, the out will be this one exit. So this one also in. So the out will be WC T minus T ref, where the reference temperature also 0. Okay, so the information given to you is TI is constant. Okay, so you are putting the I here, IS. Reason, TI is constant, given in the question. So when pass or final exam, you have to slow down and check whether this line is derived correctly or not. So when you have this already, then you will write, this is unsteady state energy balance. Or you write at the beginning, I suppose. So here now is the steady state energy balance. So from here is mCp dTs over dt. Just put the subscript of S. So WC TIS minus T ref, don't need to write already. So I will just cancel because it is assumed to be 0. So from here, you don't need to put a bracket for this one. So it will be TIS. Okay, then plus QS minus WC TS, equation 2. So just now this one is equation 1. Then you repeat the same 1 minus the 2. Okay, you'll be having mCp dt minus ts over dt, wc tis minus tis gone, plus q minus qs minus wc t minus ts. So you cannot use the capital or uppercase to indicate the deviation variable. You have to use the prime. So t prime is t minus ts, and then q prime is q minus qs. Okay, this is introduce deviation variable. Okay, then you complete. Yeah, I check message, send my boss. Okay, you all continue first. I will go to the next page. Actually, I've free ticket to the safety in the engineering symposium for this Thursday, and if any region, then safety. 9点到6点 cannot to meet. Okay, then go to the next page. Okay, right? Okay, huh? Okay, so now you will be substituting the prime inside the equation of 1 minus 2 to become, after you 1 minus 2, and also you substitute the deviation variable, you'll be getting, how I arrange the equation? mCp, okay. mCp dt prime over dt equal to ti is gone, so equals to q prime, and then w ct minus wcp t prime. Okay, so you just substitute the deviation variable into the equation you have derived just now. So now repeat the same. You have to Laplace transform both sides. So this one will give you mCp d, okay, first order. So it will be s t prime s minus t prime 0. So this t prime 0, it is like the t at time 0 minus t during steady state. This will give you 0. So this one, 0. Q prime s minus wcp t prime s. So rearrange. So mCp st prime s plus wcp t prime s, output at the left hand side, input at the right hand side. Then factorize the output, mCp s plus wcp q prime s, output over the input. So it is actually the same, just have to do it slowly. It's 1 over mCp s plus omega cp. So once you have this step already, remember to compare with tau s plus 1. Then you have to make the last term equivalent to 1. So divide wcp, divide wcp, divide wcp. So it will be 1 over wcp divided by m over s plus 1 settled. So this is your lecture slide solution where we did not derive on Monday. So you need to take note on this. In the slide, I did discuss what if the situation changed. Okay, stop for a while. The situation changed. Instead of Ti is constant, now Ti is not constant, but Q is constant. Then you will get the same answer as I derived the first time in the lecture slide. The recording is there. The recording, you know where to find, right? I already post in the Telegram. You go to our Teams there, then you go to Files. Under the Files, there are recordings folder. So I put lecture 1, lecture 2, tutorial 1, tutorial 2, something like that. You can refer from there. You don't go to refer to the chat box over there, reply there, very messy. So straight away go to the Files in the Teams of this module. Then there is a recording folder there. You refer to the Telegram. I already screenshot and sent there. So this is the question 4. Okay, so the last one of today's. So this one I don't need. Move to trash. We have a 5-minute break. Then we come back to discuss the last question of today. Okay, which is similar with the previous question, but with values. Okay, with values. So before you go for your break, please mark your attendance first. Okay. And then we break for 5 minutes. A quick one, go for a toilet break, then you come back, then we finish, we can dismiss early. Around this one? Okay. Okay. Then I also go for a break. Okay, come back. Last one of today. Okay. Okay. Consider. Is everyone back? Okay, on your webcam now. You all can read the question first. So which means, will there be any question where Tref, for this module, I make it simple, Tref is always be 0. Reference temperature will be always be 0. Okay, so continue. The last one for today already. So consider the stir heating process in this figure. The stir tank heating process operates at steady state with an inlet temperature. So TIS is given as 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and your QS during steady state. The keyword is steady state. So the Q given over here is referring to steady state value. So 1920, this is the English unit, is actually like joule per minute lah, huh? Okay, so this is the QS and the TIS value. So during steady state, the W is given as 200. And the liquid has a constant density of 62.4. So all English unit in this. Your test and final will be all SI unit. And the heat capacity of the liquid also given 0.32. Volume is constant. Okay, this is a very important keyword. V is constant. When V is constant, dm over dt equals to in Wi, and the out is W. So this is the mass balance. So when volume is constant, rho equals to m per V, m equals to rho V. So this one will be d rho V over dt equivalent to 0 because V is constant. Wi minus W. So this is unsteady state mass balance. Your 0 equals to Wi minus W. So your Wi will be your W. Same goes to this equation when it is a steady state mass balance. Your accumulation term will be always 0 equals to Wi minus W. So therefore you will be having Wi equals to W during steady state, during unsteady state. So this is how you identify. So in this case, you can simplify. Either you prefer to use the W or Wi in your equation because they refer to the same value. Due to the significant sentence here, the volume is constant. So you need to prove the volume is constant will actually cause the inlet mass rate equivalent to the exit mass rate, where Wi equivalent to W during SS steady state or US unsteady state, due to V is constant. Okay. Then when everything already steady state, now a change is applied. Means your Ti from TIS equivalent to 70 degree Fahrenheit is changed to 90 degree Fahrenheit. A change is applied to the system during the time they already achieved steady state. You only can apply the change when the system already achieved steady state. So all the changes will start at T equals to 0. And at the same time, the heater input also change. So this is your Q during unsteady state is 1600 then BTU over minute. So from the value of 1920 decrease to a value of this one. So these are the information given in this question. So we proceed with the energy balance. So energy balance, unsteady state energy balance will be dE over dt equivalent to E in, rate of energy going in, minus rate of energy going out. So refer to this simple diagram. You have two rate of energy going in. One is contributed by the entering stream of this one, by initial temperature of Ti. Second is the heat supply to this tank, which is the Q. Okay, so the exit energy, but the exit rate of energy is only involving this stream. So this equation will be 2 energy going in and 1 energy going out. So 1 contributed by WC Ti, assuming T ref equivalent to 0. then plus the Q minus the omega C, then the exit temperature T. So I'm using, due to omega I equals to omega, I standardize everything with W. So your WI is W because of volume is constant. I'm using W for the mass rate. So this is your DODT. You should expand to become MCPD. The exit temperature here is T. So you'll be having the energy to be accumulation term of dt over dt. Okay. So once you have this already, then you'll be having this as your equation 1, where this one is the unsteady state mass balance. So now steady state energy balance. So steady state energy balance, exactly the same equation, put the subscript of S, WCTIS plus QS minus WCTS. So this is your equation 2. And the value actually given for this, okay, in the question. So Ti is given during steady state, QS also given during steady state. So now use the equation 1 minus equation 2, okay, and then proceed with introduce deviation variables and proceed to Laplace transform both sides, and then proceed to transfer function derivation. So these are the repeating steps. So equation 1 minus equation 2 will give you MCP d T minus Ts, WCP Ti minus Tis plus Q minus Qs minus omega Cp T minus Ts. So this one already in capital, so I need to use prime to indicate deviation. T minus Ts. Then Ti prime is Ti minus Tis. Q prime is Q minus Qs. So this equation will be simplified to MCP dt prime over dt. So this is the star question because of, instead of just one heat supply to the system being constant or the inlet Ti being constant, now we combine both also not constant. So we'll be having Q prime. Then your Laplace transform both sides. Okay, so this one will give you MCP S bracket T prime S minus T prime 0. So this will give you initial condition of 0 equivalent to WCP T prime, this one is I, S plus Q prime S minus WCP Q. Why suddenly there's a Q there? It's a T prime. Oh my God. So T prime S, T prime. Okay, so T prime. Okay, correct. So once you have this already, you have to rearrange to get the output over the input. So you can see you have two inputs. You have first input Q also not constant, so this is the second input. If you have two inputs, means you will be getting two transfer functions. Means you'll be getting output over the first input, Ti prime S, and also T prime S over the second input, Q prime S. So you'll be getting two transfer function, two TF, due to two inputs. Due to two inputs. So you're actually getting one equation, but you split into two later. So I will show you how. So once you have this already, then you are going to factorize your T prime S. So you will move all the T prime S to the other side. So M CP S T prime S, then plus W CP T prime S equivalent to omega CP Ti prime S plus Q prime S. Factorize your output. So M CPS plus omega CP. W CP Ti prime S plus Q prime S. Then output over the input. You don't move anything yet. You will put the input outside. Okay? Means you'll be having a fraction. Then your input outside. Don't put on the top, outside. Means there will be a fraction. So WCP over this whole thing, MCPS plus WCP. Same goes to this one. This one is originally, there's nothing there, so it is 1. Just like this one is 1 over MCPS plus WCP. Okay, so repeat the same. What you need to do is, you will make sure this one give you 1. So you will derive the whole equation with WCP. Same goes to this one. WCP to get the answer of 1 over M per WS plus 1 Ti prime S plus 1 over WCP over M per W S plus 1, then Q prime S. Okay, then sub all the values given here. Density is 62.4, V volume 1.6 cubic feet, mass rate 2.5, okay, minute. CP is 0.32 BTU per degree Fahrenheit. So you'll be getting 1 over M, rho equals to M per V, M equals to rho V. So M equals to rho V will be giving you density multiplied with volume divided by omega. Mass rate is 200 S plus 1. And your Ti prime S. What is your Ti prime S? Okay, so you have to solve this. I didn't solve just now. You solve, huh? So this one is a value of, okay, so what is this? Ti initially is 70. After that being increased to 90. So it's 90 minus 70. And your Q is 1600. Initial value is 1920. So this will give you negative 320. It will give you 20, the change of 20. Okay, when you having a value of, I put different color, a bit messy over here. When you have Ti prime, equivalent to 20. When you Laplace, it will be a value, a constant over the S. So we refer to the Laplace table. When it is a number, okay, when it is a number, you'll become 1 over the S. So if let's say you have a constant value of 20, when you Laplace, this 20 will give you 20 over the S. When you, just like you are having a number, when you Laplace, so this is actually Laplace transform. So when you have Qi prime is negative 320, when you Laplace transform, you'll be getting negative 320 over the S. Means a number, a constant after the Laplace, it will be over the S. So hence, this value you should sub in into the Ti prime S and also the Q prime S, where they ask actually in question A. So your question A is about calculate the Laplace of Ti prime and also Q prime. So this Ti prime, the value is 20. So when you Laplace Ti prime, you will get 20 over the S. Same goes to your Q prime is negative 320. When you Laplace your Q prime, you will get a number divided by S. This is a Laplace. So this is actually solving the A. Okay, and then derive an expression of T prime S we already done. Then finally calculate the time constant and process gain. Okay, so just now we already derived the T prime S. Almost get the answer. So this is your T prime S. So finish this one. So because the A, I forgot to solve just now. So this one plus 1. Then Ti prime S plus the same thing. Substitute the W is 200. Cp is 0.32 over M is rho V 62.4, V 1.6, W 200, S plus 1, then the whole thing Q prime S. So this is the answer of T prime S. So what is your tau? You can check both of the equation having same tau. So this is your tau. Your tau is 0.5. But you having this one, different K. So this is your K1. This is your K2. So your K1 is 1. Your K2 is 0.0156. Okay, done. This is your week 2. I will share this one to Telegram. So you don't need to search the Telegram where is the handwritten notes. You go to the Telegram, our module file in the Telegram. You go to the files there. So all the shared handwritten notes will be there. For example, so I stop sharing this. I will share this one later to you all. So I stop sharing. Stop sharing. Stop sharing. Stop. Stop. My God. My God. Okay. My God. So you go to files here. Then we have the lecture 1, tutorial 1, lecture 2, and soon later I will post the tutorial 2 here. So you don't need to go to search all the handwritten notes here. You can just go to the top here. Okay, click our module and then files. They are all here. Okay, same goes to your recording. It is in the My Teams there. So My Teams, where is My Teams? And this one is in the file here. So recordings, all here. So you can refer to the recordings here. It is automatically uploaded to this folder in the My Teams. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you very much. Yeah, for the practicals, we will start week 4. Week 5, I cannot have any practicals because I'll be in Pahang. So we will bring forward a bit for the week 5 groups. So whatever week 5 for my module only, we will start the lab week 4. Okay, thank you.